Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Guns and Yellow Ribbons preview podcast. I'm giggling because about 5 seconds before we were due on air, we had a bit of a technical issue, and I don't know if we fixed it yet. We'll find out in a second or two. We're going to talk about this weekend's fixtures. We're going to talk about what for me is the one of the very, very top highlights of the season, the home game against Manchester United. And we might just make Ferg a little bit jealous by talking about what a great time we had in Milan this week. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Ferg's gone.
I'm here, but all my videos disappeared.
Can you there we go. Oh, look, that's the best looking picture I've seen of Fergus in a long, long time, let me tell you. Look at that. He's even done his hair for us. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to just me at the moment. Fergus is working behind the scenes to try and get back to join us. If we're unlucky, he'll fix the problems and he'll join us shortly. Yeah, what a week it's been, eh? You know, come on. We've been to Milan and we've beaten one of the top sides in Italy comfortably. They didn't deserve their one goal. And it was a wonderful trip, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. And then we're going to look forward to this weekend's game, right? Got a full squad available for the Arsenal. A full squad available for the Arsenal. Apart from, obviously, poor young Dalman, who's got a serious injury, and we wish him all the best. So, yeah. We're going to start by just having a quick look through some of the games. I don't know if Fergus is going to get back to us. Let's see if he can talk. Ferg, can you talk?
I can talk, but yeah. I tell you, why don't you take over the pictures for the minute? I'm just going to reboot my laptop, talk a little bit about Milan, and I'll join back in. Just let me see how it goes.
All right then, mate. Okay then. Sorry, everybody. He was working fine until about 5 seconds before we came on air, and then he'd completely gone, and I don't know what's happened. He probably ain't put a shilling in the meter, knowing Ferg. He's a bit tight, you know, he really is. But anyway, I've just come back from a 4-dayer to Milan. We booked the trip very early, Dan and myself. We didn't know whether the game would be Tuesday or Wednesday, so we booked Monday till Thursday. And what a trip we have had. What a trip we had. Hey, hello, Ferg. How you doing, mate? Right, leave that thought about the trip to Milan. Let's have a quick hello from Ferg. How are you, mate? Don't blink. Don't touch any buttons.
I'm not going to touch nothing. I don't know what the hell happened there, but I just blank screens. I tried absolutely everything to get it back. But yeah, aside from seeing all your photos that you sent across from Milan and, you know, the beer pictures and the texts, which I totally ignored, you know, I really did want to go and see this old girl before she gets pulled down. I know it's awful inside, but it's an iconic stadium, and I just really did want to go and see it. How was it, mate?
Look, mate. It really is time to either do a massive revamp inside, or as it's going to happen, very likely they're going to pull the old girl down. I've been a few times now. I never get tired of seeing that stadium, and I warned a few people about it, and what we did this time, we were in the stadium about an hour and 45 minutes before kickoff, which meant we went straight in, no queues, got in there, and all we had to suffer was the lack of the facilities. But the people who either didn't hear the warning about the problems getting in or decided to chance it were stuck outside again. They really had a struggle, you know. But once we were in there, I was fine. I didn't bother going in, even trying to get a refreshment, you know. Just watched a wonderful Arsenal side turn on a really classy performance away at the Italian side, Ferg. It was in my view, a proper classy performance, mate.
I watched the first half of my local pub, and I came home to watch the second half. And I'm glad I did, because I saw a scintillating half of football. I thought we were just everything we'd done just came off. I was delighted that Jesus got a brace. equally as delighted to see Victor get his goal as well. It couldn't have gone any better. I could hear the Arsenal throughout the game as well, which doesn't help my FOMO.
Yeah, you do like a sing song, don't you? Yeah, there was just over 4,000 of us there. We filled out the very top tier, but you tucked right out of the way there, you know. So I'm glad we made ourselves heard. The support for the Arsenal was fantastic from start till finish. Well, it was fantastic for the 4 days I was there, Ferg. All over the city, you're seeing Arsenal fans. No sign of trouble, no sign of tension. Just some decent fans going to watch a game of football in Europe. And there was absolutely no need for the things like holding us back for an hour after, and in my view anyway, and coming out, when we came out of the stadium, we came up honestly probably about 200 or 300 fully clad riot coppers, head to toe in riot gear.
Yeah.
And most of us Arsenal fans were just laughing and thinking, well, they don't really know us, you know. When they need to start learning about the Arsenal fans and English fans, because in Europe, we really are one of the very least of their problems, Ferg. They've got many more problems with their fans in Europe than they get off the Arsenal, Ferg.
You're right. We spoke to Adam, you know, our football liaison officer or whatever his official title is when we're at Forest. And I said, you know, why do the police out there treat us so badly? And you guys do the complete opposite here. He said he doesn't understand it. He really doesn't understand. And he's gone to every game home. I don't know if he does. Yeah, he does the home games as well, but he definitely does all the away games. And he knows who would cause trouble and who wouldn't. And there's not many people that would cause trouble. You get the odd person who gets drunk and does stupid things, but they shouldn't drink.
In life, people do the odd silly thing, and people get drunk. Not just in football life, in life. And so occasionally at football, you're going to get 1 or 2 drunken fans that are going to need a telling off. Not hiding with a stick, a bit of a telling off. But all in all, for everyone I saw, and I was there 4 days, was very well behaved. Happy.
Tell you what, a question was asked of me. So Inter and AC share the stadium.
Yeah.
And so how does it work? Does Inter have the equivalent of the clock end as their cop, and then AC have the North Bank, or do they?
Those two graphics you just showed of the pictures of the red and black and the blue and black. Yeah. One in the that's the AC Milan end of the ground, the black and red, and then you got the Inter end as all the blue and black around the outsides. I did ask the question, if we played AC, would the away fans be at the other end of the ground? And I was told, yes, we would. That they have different away ends. We were like in the AC end at the top tier. And if we played AC, we would be on the top tier at the other end. That's what I've been told. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, Ferg. Be interested to know.
But how would you feel? How would you feel? They're going to rebuild a stadium and they're going to share the stadium again. How would you feel if there was one mega stadium built somewhere between N17 and N5 and we shared it?
Look, right. I've thought about this, right? Because many, many years ago, there was talk about building a stadium for Tottenham and Arsenal to share up at Ali Pali at one stage, and thought about it, and it would never work here, I don't think, right? But in Italy, it's different. In Milan, it's different. They've always shared, you know, as far as I know, as far as I can remember, and they're used to it. And they have 2 different ends of the ground. And when Inter are the home team, the AC fans are up in the, you know, up in the gods as the away team, and then vice versa when it's the other, when the fixture's reversed. And it seems to work. I mean, you don't get, when I said about them 2 ends of the ground having all the graffiti, you don't get that graffiti painted over by supporters of the other team. They seem to respect each other's space. How well they got on, I don't know. I don't know how well they get on, but I would think that there's not too much of a vicious rivalry between the 2 sets of fans, because the stadium, seems to be working perfectly for them and always has.
And what did you make of the 7 changes that were in the lineup? Because Mikel Arteta made 7 changes. Yet again, we still look bloody strong, Trev.
Yeah, I was very happy with the team. Very, very happy with the team. And you know, you're right. We just look. I mean, Mascara. made his comeback right after injury. And a few people mentioned, oh, Mosquera's playing. And I said, hey, wait a minute. Remember when he played his first game for us this season? And we're thinking, oh, a young kid, how's he going to be? And he was absolutely, came on as a sub at Liverpool, right? And was absolutely superb, right? And I had no doubts about him. And I'll tell you for nothing, mate, he was my man of the match against Inter.
And he came on as a sub for Saliba, playing in that left side of the centre half.
Yeah.
And he came on to this game after injury to take over from Gabriel. So he can play both of those with such skill and talent. But I'll tell you what I did like. You might have seen it on Twitter. I don't have it on here. But Gabriel could see that the Italian forward was really trying to give Mosquera a hard time. And when Gabriel came on, he was on him like shit to a blanket. And every time he was just punching, bumping into him and jostling him. It's absolutely brilliant to see.
It was. He came and he went for him. But don't let that discredit Mosquera in any way, because Mosquera was handling them okay. They were going for him and he was handling them okay. I was so over the moon for Mosquera the way he played. And as I say, complete performance. And then, of course, Gyökeres got his goal, right? And even being 100 yards up in the air above, you could sense the relief in him when he banged that in, right? He got a bit lucky because he tried to lay it off to Saka and the ball bounced off of Xhaka's heel. But the actual finish was superb. Absolutely superb, and I was over the moon for him.
And the goal celebrations afterwards, Saka and the whole team came around him, and this thing that the media were trying to spin off the other week when Ben White laid off to him and gave him the assist, where Saka couldn't get his feet in the right way to give him the assist, and they're saying like he pushed Saka away, was absolute rubbish. He just wanted to go on that occasion to thank Ben White for his assist, and Saka was in there with the rest of the team congratulating him on his goal. And yes, you are right, the relief was absolutely all over his face.
Yeah, it was. And you're right, the way they celebrated with him was absolutely superb. And I was over the moon for the lad, because we've got to hold our hands up and say he's not hit the ground running, but he's not done bad. He scored his few goals. And since you talked about Gyökeres, and we talked about Gyökeres, I watched Sunday Supplement on Sky last weekend, Ferg, and there was John Cross and a couple of other sports journalists on there. I can't remember who they were. And I've got nothing against any of them. But they actually insinuated that the Arsenal had been playing with 10 men at times this season because Gyökeres was that poor. That isn't journalism, right? That's sensationalism. That's personal attacks, right? And those three journalists and Sky for airing it should have been ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves. It wasn't journalism. It wasn't good media work. It wasn't good television. It was just a personal attack on one bloke that's just trying his best. And it actually made me a bit sick to the pit of my stomach listening to them on Sky. And they should be ashamed of themselves, Ferg.
So tell me this, before we go into looking at the predictions on the other games. The possession in the Milan game was about 50-50. We had similar shots on goal. We had 2 more shots on target than Inter had. But Inter came out, as I think it was Andrew said they would need to, because they wanted to get that into that top 8 league position. They came out and gave us a game. And people talk about boring football and boring Arsenal and negative football and anti-football and so on.
Yep.
Yet again, when a team gives us a game of football and tries to play proper football against us and not just sit there, which I think we're going to see a lot of on Sunday, we look absolutely amazing. We scored 20 goals in 7 games in the Champions League. We've only conceded 2. Yeah. Our defence is not an issue. Other people are absolutely crapping the pants to play against us.
Yeah, they are. Come on, Ferg. I take the view that you can't blame teams for playing against us like that, because that's how they're getting points out of us. That's the only way they're going to beat us. And other teams have great coaches and they plan these things, right? We've seen so many teams come to the Emirates this season and be very cagey and not play much football, but hopefully hold out for a point on nick a lucky goal, So it's down to us, Ferg, to beat that, to get round it, And I think we need to keep thinking about that, because it's not been working so far. And against Forest was, prime example. But we can't. I'm not going to get down about it. I'm not going to moan about it tonight because we're 7 points clear at the top of the league. We're top of the Champions League. I mean, Inter are top of Serie A by 3 points, Ferg. Right? Now, I know that league ain't as good as what it used to be. But when you look at the teams there, your Juves and your ACs, and, you know, you're thinking they can't. They're used to winning this season, Inter. They're used to winning. They've got players that win games for them. And then I never thought from minute one that Inter were going to get anything out of that game. I just knew. I felt looking. And I wasn't too drunk either before you start.
Yeah, that made a change.
Yeah, or made up for it the following night, let me tell you. But that's another story.
Yeah, I know. You said. Danny asked a question. Danny, nobody hopefully now, and then we go all the way to the final. A serious question: who's going to beat us in the Champions League? He honestly doesn't see anybody doing it. Nobody can beat us now because otherwise we're out.
Do you know what, Dan? I get your feeling, but do you know I had that feeling last season, Ferg. I had that feeling last season. Then we come up against an inspired Donnarumma, and PSG turned us over. So I'm just looking one game ahead. I'm not sure who we can get in the knockout stages. But what I will say is, and I've said it before on this podcast, and I absolutely mean it, I look at every team that's in that Champions League, and we can lose to any of them on the day. That's football. You don't win every game playing football. But I don't fear any of them. As a fan of my great football club, the Arsenal, I do not fear any other team in that Champions League. All we need is a bit of rubber to green because it's a long, long competition. So you need your little bit of luck somewhere, no matter how good you are, you know. Like PSG had last year when Donnarumma was inspired for 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. But I don't fear anyone, Ferg. No, I don't look at any other team and think, oh, they worry me. None of them.
Well, you said you don't know who we can face. We can face Juventus or Dortmund, Galatasaray or Karabakh. So, do you want to go back?
How do they know that, Ferg, when they don't know what the league positions are?
Well, as it stands now, because we play 15th, 16th, they play off against each other, and 17th, 18th play off against each other, and then the winners of those two games play off, and we meet the winner of that. That's how I understand it.
Yeah.
So as it stands at the moment is Galatasaray, Dortmund, Karabakh. Well, Juventus or Dortmund would play each other if it was to finish now, and Galatasaray and Karabakh would play each other, and the winners of each of those games would play off each other on the 23rd, 25th of Feb.
No, there's only two. There's only one round of playoffs. You play one other team home and away.
I don't see how it works then.
Right, someone put in the comments, please, because the top 8 are through, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you've got 9 to 24.
Demsek, come to the rescue.
Or 9 to whatever, and they play off, and then the 8 that are left from that one round of playoffs play against the top 8. So I'd love to get Karabakh. I'd love a trip back to Baku. Come on, Baku's superb.
I'd go. I'm not sure about Galatasaray. I don't know if my I don't know how I'd fancy being in the stadium 4 hours beforehand, even before the stadium opens.
You don't. Not in Baku.
No, in Galatasaray.
I'm not bothered about Galatasaray. I'm talking about Baku. Galatasaray should be ashamed of themselves because the problem in Galatasaray isn't the away fans; it's the home fans.
Yeah. So
they should be doing something to pull the home fans up, not making the away fans be in the ground for 12 hours. That is absolutely awful. And if that's got to happen in Turkey, then Turkey should be booted out of the Champions League because you can't be going to a football fan to a game for 12 hours, be in the ground for on your way and on your way back for all that amount of time. That's not on. That's another subject, though, Ferg, but you've got me going now.
Interesting. Are Galatasaray on the European side or the Asian side of Istanbul? If they're on the Asian side, they shouldn't be in the UEFA, should they?
I wouldn't
in theory.
You've got a team from Kazakhstan in it, Ferg. So, you know.
Yeah, I know. We're playing them. Interesting. Anybody who does have a ticket for next Wednesday, put in the chat what your thoughts are. Are you going? What are you expecting? And we'll pick it up later on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a strange old crowd. I think it'll sell out. It'll be a full stadium, I think, because everybody wants to see us at the moment. But it's an opportunity for lots of people that don't normally go. There's loads of tickets on Ticket Exchange. Go on there and pick one up and have a great night at the Emirates, because it'll be a great night celebrating the fact that we've won the Champions League. You know, we're top of the league and we move on. Yeah. So anyway, should we talk about a couple of games, Ferg?
Yeah, why not?
Let's talk about your second favourite team, West Ham, against Sunderland. You know, West Ham beat some small club from somewhere in London last time out. And,
Middlesex United, I think it was, or Middlesex FC or something like that. Yeah.
Sunderland had a win as well. You know, Sunderland have impressed me no end this season. But have West Ham turned it around, Ferg? Can they get something out of this?
I don't know. I really don't know. Listen, heart rather than head on this one. Sunderland are safe. So I think Sunderland have done great. They're 9th in the league. They're on 33 points, 2 more points, and they're probably safe, guaranteed. West Ham, on the other hand, you know, we'll talk about them later. Brentford and Forest are playing each other, and Leeds are playing Everton away on Monday. So all these teams, if they drop points and West Ham can manage to get a draw, but really a win at the London Stadium, then they're right back into it. And I wouldn't like to see West Ham go down, because friends and they're a local team to me as well. So I've gone on this one. I've gone West Ham 2, Sunderland 1.
Yeah, more chance your head dropping off. No, you know, with us, with the rivalry with our smaller neighbours up the road, Ferg, right? I'll be looking at it and I'm thinking, it's ifs. It's all, life's about ifs, isn't it? But if Tottenham lose at Burnley and West Ham and Forest can get a win this week, right? Tottenham are in a relegation battle. They really are. And while I'm at it, Ferg, right? The fact that Tottenham aren't doing anything this season, but have still got to be still 4th in the Champions League. Does that show the Champions League to be a bit weak this year, Ferg?
No, I think what it shows is the Premier League to be such a strong league and the strongest league in Europe. We know what it is anyway, but it's exceptionally strong. And if you look into the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, you would expect the English teams to be at least getting to the semi-finals, if not final, and winning it.
Yeah. I mean, I think to get to the final or even win the final, we're going to have to play at least one English side. So when it comes, it comes. Ferg, Demsek's just put something on. What
I was just about to put that up. Yeah.
There's a playoff between 4 teams to play Arsenal or Bayern. So looks like.
So I think it's that, as I said. So it would be Juventus and Dortmund play each other, Galatasaray and Karabakh play each other as it stands, and the winners of that game then play off to meet us in the round of 16.
There's not 2 playoff rounds. There's 1 playoff round.
No, yeah. The first game, all 4 play. The second game, the 2 winners play, and the winner then progresses.
The playoffs are home and away, right? The playoffs are home and away. I know that much. Anyway, we're going to be on this all night. Demsek, you've not helped. Sorry, son. You know.
Thank you, Demsek. Thank you.
There's not 2 playoff rounds. I'm not having it. Not having it. There's 2 playoff rounds. Yeah, look, good old Simon's on my side. Simon's on my side. Simon.
Well, tell us what the answer is then.
If there's only 1 playoff round, which I know there is, just type in the comments, Fergus is a knob, right? And then I'll know for sure. All right. Anyway, look, I've gone for let's see what happens on that. I've gone for a West Ham to get beaten by Sunderland. I'd like to see West Ham win, but Sunderland, I think, are too good, Ferg. So anyway, next, Man City coming off a loss at Man United and off a loss at Bodo. Coming up against Wolves, who have had a couple of Simon's come good. Wolves who have
you know, Simon, I can actually click on a button here and block you from comments and watching.
Yeah, but Simon, I've also got a button that unblocks you, so don't worry about it. So.
All right, okay.
Wolves are coming off a draw and they've picked up the odd point, haven't they? You know, City are coming off losses in Europe and in the league. But Wolves ain't going to go there and get anything, are they, Ferg?
Well, Wolves haven't lost a game in the last 5 games. They've drawn or won, including the cups. The manager that's come in, I can't remember his name, but he's doing well. He made them quite solid. They beat West Ham 3-0 as well. Man City, I really don't know what's going on there. It's just, it's the wheels have definitely fallen off. Yeah, they beat Exeter 10-1 in the cup, but you'd expect that. That being said, I still think it's at the Etihad. Wolves have improved, but not that much. I've gone 4-0 to Man City.
4-0 to Man City. Well, I've gone 2-0 to Man City, but we agree, Ferg. But I'd love to see Wolves get something at City. I really would. And this, do you know what? I know this sounds harsh, but we've got to remember how harsh the man has been with his comments towards the Arsenal, the team we adore. I was loving seeing Haaland getting substituted and walking off with his tail between his legs and having a few chances and not putting any of them away. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, you're right, Danny. Haaland hasn't scored in about 8 games. But when it was mentioned on social media this week, somehow with the Man City fans, that was Arsenal's fault. Don't ask me how, because I really genuinely don't know. Right, Ferg, listen.
I think Adam is confused. He says, hopefully I'm wrong, and it's 4-0 to Wolves.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll take that, Adam.
No, I'll take that. That's City definitely out of the picture then.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. There you go. So you got the 9th to the 24th playoff, 2 legs, right? Which means there's 8 teams left from that. And them 8 teams that are left from the playoffs play against the 8 teams that finished in the top 8. That's how I saw it. I know there's not 2 playoff rounds because I've been planning my trips, Ferg.
Yeah.
There's only one playoff round. We'll talk about it after, Ferg, because it's getting a bit boring for these people that are watching us now. Nearly 200 people watching live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting up with Ferg. It really is good of you to do that.
Yeah.
Ferg, 2 teams I like here. Fulham v Brighton, right? Fulham have lost their last one. Brighton drew their last one. Fulham at home. Not doing. I don't know. I can't make my mind up, Ferg.
Well, it's 11th versus 12th. Fulham didn't lose the last one. They drew to Palace. I think they got a late equaliser, was it? It was a draw to Palace. And Brighton drew to West Ham 2-2. I think Brighton are a better outfit. Although Fulham are stronger at home, I still think that Brighton will be too strong for Fulham, our Arsenal D team, if you want to recall them. It's going to be a tight game. I've gone 2-1 to Brighton.
You've gone 2-1 to Brighton. I've gone the other way around. I have absolutely the same sentiment as you. I think it's going to be a tight game. 2 sides that can play a bit. 2 sides that can be brilliant one week and not so good the following week. But I've gone 1-0 to Fulham. So we disagree, mate. We disagree on that one. Now then, Burnley v Tottenham. Burnley struggling. Tottenham struggling, losing at home to West Ham and, getting a result in the week. Yeah, but against a poor German side in Frankfurt. So Burnley v Tottenham, Ferg. Can Burnley not do us a favour as in league positions, because Tottenham shouldn't be in our league, if I'm honest, But can Burnley do us a favour as in, like, smirking rights, you know what I mean?
Tottenham have lost 3 out of the last 5, drawn 1 and 1 just against Dortmund. And that was actually a shock. All my Tottenham associates were very, very shocked. They weren't even watching the game. They were watching the Arsenal game because they didn't even want to look at the Tottenham game. They were that worried about it. And, everyone thought Thomas Franks is going to be sacked if he lost to Dortmund. Instead, they just put it off for about 4 or 5 days because when he loses 1-0 to Burnley, that's it.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So you're going for Burnley.
Look, I'm always going to go Burnley, not Tottenham winning, put it that way. But Burnley aren't that easy to play at their place, are they?
No. Well, we beat them easy, but then we're a quality side. But no, you're right, mate. Up there, and if the fans get lifted, which if Burnley start well, they will, then Yeah, they're right in it. Sorry, by the way, I just said Frankfurt when I should have said Dortmund playing against Tottenham this week. I do apologise.
Well, they drew 2-2 at home against Man United, and Man United and Spurs aren't that much different. Man United are actually better than Spurs.
No. Well, we'll talk about Man United when we come to our game shortly, Ferg, because I have my thoughts on that, right? But so I've gone for Burnley as well. I've gone 1-0, Ferg. Burnley to win 1-0. You've gone for Burnley, so we agree on that. And I think it's about time we got the serious message out that we put out in every podcast, Ferg.
Let's put that up there. So we do it on every show. We do It's Okay to Talk. We support Andy's Man Club. It's a suicide prevention charity that are there to help men out if they experience a storm, or even if you're not just experienced a storm and you're lonely, you want to chat, you want to go have a cup of coffee and a biscuit and talk to other guys. There are loads of places around the country. andysmanclub.co.uk. Whack your postcode in. I done one locally to me, and I think there was 5 within half-hour drive to me. It's on a Monday night at 7 p.m. It means you missed this show for a few weeks, but if it helps you out and gets you through that dark spot, please do reach out. It's okay to talk.
Indeed, it is, Fergus. Don't be alone. There's always someone out there that will listen and help in some way. Great message, and we will continue to promote that. It's something very close to Fergus's heart, I know, and same to mine. And look after each other, Ferg. Look after each other. Ferg, Arnie, changing the subject, Arnie has grasped on you. Arnie has grasped on you. He says he sent you out of Champions League games will be played. He said he sent them to you.
He's just sent them now.
Oh, no, I don't believe you. I bet you've had them days. Arnie, thanks for sorting that out, mate. Thank you for sorting that out. Burnley to win 3-1. I hope you're right, Arnie. And I hope you're well, Arnie. All the best, mate. All the very best. Ferg, right. Bournemouth v Liverpool. Right. I can't see there being an upset here. Ferg. I'm sure that Bournemouth are going to win.
Yeah, I listened to you there, but it took a second to land. Bournemouth haven't been doing great, but Liverpool are all over the place. I think Arne Slot is. You think Thomas Frank is a dead man walking? I think Arne Slot is, especially with Alonso in the marketplace as well. I think he's a natural replacement, a Liverpool man, and so on and so forth. I think there will be an upset, and the upset will be that Bournemouth hold Liverpool to a 0-0 draw.
A draw.
Yes.
Oh, see, I've got, having been down to Bournemouth and that and seen them and that, I've got Bournemouth to win. I've got Bournemouth to win 2-0 and continue Liverpool's misery. I genuinely have, you know. It's strange because I don't like Liverpool mainly because of their fans. I reckon every Liverpool fan must search Arsenal on their social media feeds. They must search Arsenal every day. And then it gets stuck in their algorithms, of course. So every time an Arsenal fan posts something, we pop up on there and they have to have a dig and a comment and they talk a complete load of waffle. But anyway, that's by the by. So you've gone for a draw there, Ferg. Right then. Newcastle v Villa. For once in my life, I want Newcastle to get something out of this game. I want to see Villa drop away a bit, Ferg.
Yeah, they're a little bit worrying, aren't they? They're like one of those, a wasp at a barbecue. They're just a wasp at the darts, even. They're just constantly annoying. I think Unai Emery's done a great job. It looks like they're going to be bringing in Tammy Abrahams as well into their side to strengthen the side in the transfer window. They've got a really good side. We played them, and I thought when we played them that they were an equal match for us. I thought a draw would have been a fair result in that game. With the melee at the end of the game, they nicked the goal and felt a little bit harsh to us. Newcastle, on the other hand, that striker they got, Waldemar or whatever it is, whatever they call it. Yeah, Waldemar, I call him. Yeah. I think he's just a cheap Gyökeres, really.
Really? See, I quite like him.
Yeah, no,
I quite like him.
I don't think he's good enough, and I think Villa are just going to be too strong for them. And I'm going 1-0 to Villa.
Are you? Wow. Do you know what, Ferg? It's funny you should mention because we've played Villa twice this season already, haven't we? And like you said, when we went up there, I thought they were really good side, Villa, at their place. I thought a draw would have been a fair result, much the same as you, but they nicked a win at the end, and I could make a case for them nicking it because I thought they played really well. So when they came to the Arsenal Ferg Villa, I'm thinking, we've got a game on here. This team at Villa is up there, right at the top of the league. They want to try and win the league. They're going to come here to try and beat us, right? And I'm thinking we're going to have a proper game here. And do you know what, mate? I was so disappointed. So disappointed because Villa just didn't want to play, really. They didn't want to play. Martinez was wasting time from minute one. I know he's not the only goalkeeper to do that against us this season. And they just didn't want to play. And they got the beating they deserved. What did we beat Villa by at our place now? Was it 3-1? Or I can't remember.
3-1 or 4-1, I can't remember.
Might have been 4-1. Might have been 4-1, yeah. So I was really disappointed in Villa that day. I was hoping they'd come and play like people that wanted to win the league, and they played like a relegation team trying to win a point. So, yeah, bit sad, really. But I've gone for a draw, Ferg. Newcastle and Villa, a draw. That'll do for me. Next, the junior 4-1, Danny. Thank you for that, mate. Next, Little London derby, two smaller clubs, Palace v Chelsea. Palace coming off a loss, Chelsea coming off a win. Palace at home at their stadium where we know they get fantastic support. Any thoughts, Ferg?
I think Palace are in a bit of disarray. The manager making the statements he's made, I don't think is great. I think Mateta wanting to go, and he's a really good player. I think that's all. All just sounds a little bit messy from a club that looked like they were turning that, like they won the FA Cup, they won the Community Shield. Yes, they lost Eze. Now they've lost Gahey. They're going to lose the manager. They're going to lose Mateta. It just looks like it's crumbling and falling apart on them, unfortunately. Yeah. And I think that's going to play out on the pitch as well a little. Chelsea, hot and cold. They've got this new manager in place. I think they're going to be just that bit too good for Palace. And I've gone 2-1 to Chelsea.
2-1 to Chelsea. I thought when I was writing my notes for this today, Ferg, I thought long and hard about this game. And after about 1 minute, I had all the thoughts I wanted really on it. But you see, I do feel a bit sorry for Palace, right? Because they're going to lose all their top players are starting to drift away. The manager's going. And is it Steve Parish, their owner, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what, Ferg? I'm not overly keen on him sometimes. But at least he says it how it is. He don't beat around the bush, right? Even if you don't agree with him, he speaks his mind, and and he's not sarcastic really with it. He just speaks how he thinks, So I feel a bit sorry for all of them at Palace that this has all happened to them. Because I like Palace fans. They looked after Eze when he left. Chelsea got a new manager, but Ferg, when I look at him, I think he should still be in college or something, Rosinha. But he talks a cracking game, doesn't he? He really talks a cracking game. If his coaching is anywhere near as good as that, they're going to be all right, Chelsea. They're going to be all right. But I have noticed the manky media are already starting to get into Rosinha a bit, about the way he dresses, the way he acts, the way he conducts his coaching. And once again, the media, leave him alone. You're dramatising nothing,
He's easy prey, isn't he? Like him and when he played for Hull, Arteta was playing on the pitch at the same time, so there must be similar sort of ages. It's good to see another young manager come through, and also an English manager come through. If he wasn't at Chelsea and he was at somewhere like Palace or West Ham or one of the lower teams, I'd want him to do really, really well. The fact is at Chelsea, I don't want him to do very well at all.
He's a genuinely nice lad, isn't he? You're right.
He does come across it. Yeah.
Anyway, 1-1 I've gone for. I've gone for a draw. You've gone for Chelsea. I've gone for a draw. Brentford v Forest next, right? Brentford coming off a loss. Forest coming off a draw. I'd love to see Forest get something out of this game, Ferg.
I'm the opposite. I would like to see Brentford to get something out of it, just because I think it makes the relegation battle a bit more interesting, keeps the league going, because clearly it looks like the winners of the league are well and truly in control at the top of the table. I'd like just to see a little bit more excitement around the bottom of the table. It's 7th versus 17th. There's 11 points between them. As you said, Brentford lost to Chelsea and Forest drew to us. Forest, we said it when we spoke, and I spoke to some of the lads when we're up at Nottingham. Forest look better than the league position says.
Yeah.
But Brentford at home are no mugs. And that manager, who we all thought was going to be one of the first to get sacked, and we put Brentford and Bournemouth down in that relegation zone, he's done really, really well. I think they're verging on Champions League spots or something like that nearly. They're definitely in Europe.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be too good for Forest. Yeah. I really do. And I've gone, what have I gone? I've gone 2-0 to Brentford.
To Brentford. Do you know what, Ferg? When it comes to predicting the score, I've gone 2-1 to Brentford, right? But I'd love to see Forest get something out of it for what I said earlier about if Tottenham lost, that would put the pressure right on Tottenham. But what swung me was that performance of Forest. They played Braga last night, and I watched the game. Forest were poor. They were poor. They really were. So I thought, yeah, they're going to come back knackered, and Brentford are probably going to beat them. By the way, anyone, if you've never been to that stadium in Braga, I've been twice now, right? If you've never been to that stadium in Braga and you like visiting a stadium, go and watch a game at
Is
Braga.
that the one where you go under the tunnel and there's half in the cliff?
It's the most unique stadium. It's only got two big stands, one either side. Each stand holds about 15,000, I think. So they're big stands. And to get to the stand on the far side, they have tunnels from one stand that goes under the pitch and up brings you into the other stand. That's how tight it was for space. One end is like a mountain cliff face, and the other end is open like. But it's a unique stadium. I've enjoyed my 2 visits there. I really have. Ferg, let's talk Everton. Let's talk Leeds. I don't mind either of these teams, to be honest. We're going to Leeds in a couple of weeks' time. Lots of people don't like the trip there. I don't mind it at all. Both coming off wins. Everton had a win. Leeds had a win last week. I think Ferg, I'm just thinking home advantage might swing it Everton's way.
I'm again, for the reasons I said, with the relegation battle, I'm hoping Everton, and I prefer Everton to Leeds anyway. I'm hoping that Everton do get a result at their stadium. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be good Monday night football. Leeds beat Fulham at home 1-0 last week, and Everton lost to Villa away. But Everton at home, they haven't been great. But I don't know. I just think I don't know. It's probably heart more than head again. Yeah. I've gone Everton 2, Leeds 1.
Yeah, I've gone exactly the same. That's the first time we've agreed tonight, Ferg. Everton 2, Leeds 1. I've gone exactly the same, mate. Exactly the same. Yeah. So then we come on. Well, how long we?
Oh, hang on. Look at this. If Chelsea draw or lose and Brentford win at Brentford go above Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, these them West London teams, they have their own like mini league, don't they? Fulham, Chelsea, and Brentford. They try and win that, don't they? So yeah. Evening, Sean. Sorry I didn't see you in Milan, mate. I don't know why we didn't bump into each other. We normally do, but yeah. So Ferg, listen, right? The mighty Arsenal versus Man United, right? We drew at Forest last week, as we know. Man United coming off that win against Man City. We've got to be honest and say that's got to lift Man United's mood. They've got the new manager in charge now, Carrick, and and he obviously lifted them for the game against City because, let's be honest, they didn't just beat City, they hammered City. They hammered City 2-0. It should have been 4 or 5. It really should. City hardly got a kick. And we're coming off a draw at Nottingham Forest that wasn't the most exciting game to watch, and that's talking nicely about it. But we're at home, and hopefully Man United might want to play a bit of football, and then I think they play into our hands, Ferg.
I think they'll do the exact same tactics as they did against Man City. Hopefully not with the same results. I think they'll concede the ball. I think they'll concede possession. They conceded 70% possession to Man City in that game. They marked Haaland out of the game, so much so that it took their 3 key players off at about 70 minutes. Carrick is in situ now. He immediately changed their formation to a 4-4-2. We spoke about this on Monday. With that in mind, does Arteta change his formation or make some sort of alteration to his formation, because otherwise we could get overrun a little bit in the midfield. I do think if we're clever, and I think we will have to be clever if they try and do what they did and play on the counter-attack, our defense, I hope Calafiori's fit. I know there is a stat which I have here. Where is it gone? Yeah, I do have it. Here's this tweet here. Breaking news: ahead of the game against Manchester United, Arsenal have a fully fit squad for the first time this season. I know there's talk about Havertz and a knee and stuff like that. There's a couple of other things, but if that is true, that's huge.
Hold that thought, Ferg, right? Because I just want to move on to that now. This is really interesting, right? Assuming we got a fully fit squad, right? I picked my team today and I went for Raya, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba and Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard, right? That was the team I chose, which we can expand in a second. Then I've looked at my subs and I looked it up and we can have 9 people on the bench, right? So I've got a goalkeeper, I've got Kepa. I've got Marino because he's me backup for Zubimendi and Rice, right? I've got Nkapie because he excites me the way he defends. He's superb. I've got Madueke because he can come on the right for Saka and really change the way we play. I've got Mosquera because the kid's superb and he deserves to be on the bench as cover for Gabriel and Saliba, right? I've got Havertz because I think if we have to change it up front, Havertz brings us plenty if he's fit. I've got White because I think White's a superb right back and you can move Timber from right back to left back. I've got Eze because he's a big signing and he's going to be a big game player soon enough. And I've got Martinelli on the bench because he's not let us down this season. But that means I've got no place for Skelly, Jesus, Norgard, and I mean, Nwaneri's gone now, but if Nwaneri was in the squad, I'd have no place for them 4 players. We've got a massive squad and Arteta has got some decisions to make, and how he's going to keep everybody happy, I do not know, Fag.
Your lineup, I would agree with mostly. The only thing I'd probably look to change, especially after his performance midweek, I'd probably start Jesus. And he, a bit like we did before when we used to have Martinelli on the wing and then bring on Trossard. You can put Jesus on there. He may get a goal or 2. He'll run their defence ragged, and then he can bring Gyökeres on when they're a little bit more tired and so on, and hopefully he gets a goal. And we just do a repeat of what we done on Tuesday night. That's what I did. But yeah, you're right. The squad is unreal. And on Nwaneri, he's gone tail end to Marseille. What do you make? Do you think it's a good move for the lad?
I'll be honest, blatantly honest. I wanted to see him stay. I wanted to see him stay at the Arsenal and learn his trade with us because he's a high quality performer. But you know, we have to trust our club, and Arteta and his coaches will have thought it's best for the boy. Hopefully, he'll come back. Much like we signed Saliba and he never came. We loaned him out for a year, didn't we? And everyone was thinking he'll never play for the Arsenal, something wrong. And he came. When he did come, he was off the scale, didn't he? You know, so hopefully it's something like that. But I want to linger on the Jesus, Havertz, Gyökeres thing, right? Okay. I can't, and it'd be interesting to get the comments, right? And I'm sort of contradicting things that have happened here because I know Jesus scored twice against Inter, but as a centre forward playing through the middle, looking at his performances since he's been with us, he's never scored enough goals. Jesus, neither has Havertz, right? So I had to weigh up. I was thinking to myself, Havertz, Jesus, Gyökeres, you know. And I just fancied Gyökeres up front against Man United, hopefully with a bit more space. And then I'm thinking Jesus or Havertz coming on. And I thought, well, Jesus will come and wrung his socks off. But he scored 2 goals last week, so it's highly likely he won't score again. So I'm going to go for Havertz coming back after his injury and making space for us up front. So, yeah, I came to the conclusion Gyökeres with Havertz on the bench, but you can make a case for it being the other way around.
The issue I've got with Gyökeres starting is Maguire. Maguire in that 4-4-2 and that back 4, he was immense and had Haaland in his pocket. And I think we've said before that Gyökeres is getting used to the physicality of the Premier League in comparison to, say, the Champions League and the Portuguese league. And I think Maguire will probably have him on toast.
Yeah, really. I mean, see, I agree with Simon here to a certain. Well, I agree with that statement 100%. Actually, Man United are not the strongest in central defence. They've got Heaven, and the new manager bought Maguire back last week because he's thinking, I need to change this. And yeah, Maguire's much more of an attacking threat as well. But on their day, if the likes of Saka and Trossard and Odegaard are on the top of their game on the day, that central defence of Man United is nowhere near a match for them. Nowhere near. Not in my book. Nowhere near. You've gone quiet, mate. You've lost your microphone.
Yeah, I hit mute by mistake. I think all around the pitch, we're a better team than Man United. I think Man United, it was a derby game. They had a new manager bounce. They had, Carrick knows exactly what the Manchester derby is about. It'd be like Tony Adams taking over as caretaker manager for the Northern Derby. There's nobody better that you'd want, talking to them about what it means. This game, whilst it's first versus fifth, and Man United like 15 points behind us. Man United have never been 15 points behind us like 10, 15 years ago. It was always like us fighting out with them. And that's why the game is a big game to us. On paper, it's not really a huge game, but I do think we will outplay them in every area. We just have to be clever and smart how we play and not get caught by their counter-attack.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. Most people are agreeing with you about the choice of Jesus, and I respect you and everyone's opinion, but you won't change my mind. I'd start with Gyökeres. I genuinely would. Keep the pace out wide.
What, you being stubborn? That's not like you.
I'm not stubborn. Never been stubborn in my life.
No.
I wish. Yeah, but come on, looking at the teams, taking the form over the season, we should win. But then we said that against Forest last week. It's a funny old game, and there's absolutely we're 7 points clear in the league, right? I've got people look at. I went into town here today, and me and the wife and myself went in the supermarket, and a bloke I hardly know come up to me and said, "You've won the league now, haven't you? You've won the league." And I'm like, no. There are many, many, many swings and roundabouts to come yet this season. Many, right? Don't lose your crap over one or two results that might happen coming up, because anybody can beat anybody. And I think, I'm not sure, Ferg, but I think the last game of the season for them is Man City v Villa, I believe.
Oh wow!
I've heard. I'm not sure. Someone will be able to put us right in the chat, I dare say. But I'm sure Man City play Villa. Well, I'm not sure. I think. Yeah. There you go. I love Gyökeres. Thank you, Danny. Someone's on my side, mate. I needed a bit of backup there. Cheers, pal. I really.
Danny's been on the whiskey as well.
And what we have got to remember is Martinez pocketed Haaland last week. 5'9", pocketed about 6'5", right? Martinez won't do that 2 weeks in a row, I don't think. Watch him prove me wrong now. I hope he doesn't. But
I think if Martinez is 5'9", Dan is about 7'2".
No, Martinez is very small.
Yeah, 5'9" is an average height. Thank you very much. I'll have you know.
Oh, right. Okay. Are you 5'9", Ferg?
5'9", 5'10", 175, whatever that is. 175.
I'd have never guessed. Guessed. But we're not talking about height, your height ratio. We're talking about Martinez, who's a fine player at Man United, but he'll get sorted, if we push Gabriel and Saliba, and Timber and Calafiori up at corners, and Rice is dropping it on a sixpence like he normally does, then I can see another couple of set-piece goals coming, Ferg. Ferg, listen, so how many are you going for the Arsenal score, mate?
Clean sheet. Huge thing. I want a clean sheet. Yes.
Okay.
And I said, Jesus, Gyökeres.
Jesus, Gyökeres.
3-0.
Okay, I've gone 3-1. I've given Man United a goal. I don't know why. I've gone 3-1. So listen, Ferg, we've gone for them all now, right? We're coming up to 55 minutes. We've got nearly 300 people watching live. I reckon you should press the button and play them a song, Ferg.
Yeah, let's play him a song. Should we go to the Blackstock? Danny may be on his fourth whiskey, but he is very, very right in that comment saying, most importantly, we need the 12th man. Anybody going to the game, get in early, get your beers in you, or if you need beers, or if you don't, but just get in there, be noisy and intimidating, play the ref.
Absolutely, Berg. And absolutely, Danny, but I've never heard the Arsenal crowd let us down against Man United yet. If you're not up for that one, you might as well sell your season ticket and not go, because it's massive. It is absolutely massive, this game. Ferg, there was something else I was going to say, but it's completely slipped my mind. Oh, I know what it was. Can you just put one more picture up? Can you put a picture of the lads outside the San Siro, please? The one at night with it all lit up behind, Ferg.
Yes.
Just before we go. That one there,
not
right?
Not this one?
No. Put it, just stop fucking about and put that. That's it.
Oh.
See, I'm the oldest in that group of lads by some considerable way, right? And they look after me no end. And I do need looking after sometimes. That is a fantastic group of people. And a few more that weren't in that picture that were out there. And thanks to every one of you. It was a wonderful trip, and we go again in March. We don't know where, but we go again, because we're on our way. I've got a hotel booked in Budapest. We are on our way. Ferg, people, I'm going to shut up, right? 300 of you out there. Brilliant. I'm knackered. I'm going to turn this computer off for a minute. I'm going straight to bed. So, Ferg, take over, mate. Say your bit and shut us down, pal.
I've already looked on Google Maps, the journey by car to Budapest. Haven't said anything yet. Yeah.
Have you told the missus yet?
No. Shh. No.
You know when I got yours on Wednesday night for the Chirac game?
Yeah.
Unless you pay me loads of money, I'm going to grass on you. No, I'm not. Never be a grass. Never be a grass. Never be a grass.
Right. You have been watching Hillsy's Friday preview show on Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. As I said, about 300 of you watching across various platforms, a lot on X. We'd love you to go over and give us a follow on YouTube. We'd like to get to 1,500 as soon as possible. We don't make any money at this. It costs us money, but it's our hobby. We enjoy doing it. Friday night, I'd rather be in the pub than talking to this guy. So give us a follow. Up the Arsenal, Fox Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.